So I'm always on the lookout for new and fun ways for this CNC to make me more money. But you can't just slap material on here and make any old CNC project, because generic CNC projects are all over Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, and the internet in general. So I'm always on the lookout for materials and projects that are new, unique, profitable, and bring new types of value to my customers. And so today we're going to try something that I've never actually used before, and we're going to do some cutting with HDPE, which stands for high density polyethylene. Simply put, it's a high density plastic, basically what milk jugs are made of. Now, what really got me interested in trying out this color core is the fact that it is multi-layer right here, as you can see. It's going to have two outer layers of one color and then an inside layer of a different one. So what that should mean for us CNC folks is that we are going to be able to make new projects that are multicolor, that are quick to produce, and that are great for outdoor use, because since it's going to be plastic, it's durable. But does it really hold up? Is it easy to work with? How affordable really is it? And is this material really worth it? So that's what we're going to check out today. I'm going to make a project using this stuff. I'm going to tell you how easy it is to work with. I'm going to tell you what problems I run into and what I really think of it. But we're just going to be making a simple shop sign to remind me to stop overthinking, something that I can keep in the shop and help me relax when I start getting stressed out, which unfortunately for me, pretty common. So with that, let's give it a shot. Now, my normal choice for hold down methods are either A, to screw the material into my spoil board, or B, to use the old CA glue and tape method, but I don't feel that either one of those are really appropriate for this. So I'm going to pull out the, I guess you call them oops clamps, and I'm going to use that as my hold down method. Now, one thing you might notice is that because this is plastic, it is going to have a little bit of flex in it. So you want to make sure that you hold down across the entire surface where you're going to be cutting. Now, even though I've got this larger piece, I'm only going to be cutting in this area. So I think this should do fine. All right, now that we've got the material down and we're ready to go, I've got the design done, plugged into my CNC. And in case you didn't know, I do use a Onefinity Woodworker Elite CNC. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to check them out. It's a great CNC. I've used it for probably about 3 years now, and I love it. I also use an air-cooled spindle that I got from Pone CNC. I'll put the link down in the description there if you need to check that out. And for my bits, I'm going to be using 2 bits today. The first one to get the finer details up into the corners and to get fairly tight corners, I'm going to be using this 1/8" O-flute bit. And then I'm going to do the bigger parts and the pocketing and the final cutout with this 1/4" O-flute bit. Now, these are upcut bits, so the chips actually come up instead of being pushed down into the material, because since this is plastic, there's a chance that it could melt the plastic and give us a bad result. We don't want that, so we're going to be pulling everything up. Now, one thing that I am really impressed about is how quiet it's actually cutting. I mean, that makes sense in that it's plastic and not wood, but I'm talking at almost a regular level, and I'm running into no problems whatsoever. My Apple Watch isn't even setting off the loud environment. All right, so as you can see, the letters did a great job. There's a couple of little fuzzies there that I can pick off. I'll get a little hard bristle toothbrush or something to fix that, so no worries there. You will see right here that this didn't go all the way through the red. So I've readjusted and I've gone about 2 1/100ths of an inch deeper. And so I'm just gonna recut this and get rid of that and clean that up. And then we're gonna switch over to the 1/4" and finish up. All right, so I did have to go back and set that lower a couple of times, more than I really feel that I should have. And one of the reasons I think that might have been the case right up here on this side is maybe I just have that clamp pressed down a little bit harder, so it's really pushing that down, which would explain that. But it's a minor thing, no big deal at all. What I really want to see is I want to take this bit off And I want to see if there's any plastic that's kind of melted to it and see how that turns out. So let's take a look there. All right, and here you can see, I don't know if it'll focus on it. Here you can see that there is no plastic melted on there whatsoever. So now let's switch over to our 1/4" bit and finish this bad boy up. Okay, so I've switched over to the 1/4" bit. It's going to take care of the inside of these letterings and do the final cutout. I always like to do my cutout last because if I do that first, then it's possible that the material could move or break away while it's doing the rest of it. So make sure that you're always cutting out your material last, whatever you're doing. Now this is also an O-flute bit, so it's still going to pull that material up, and let's finish this up. So now we'll flip it over and cut it out. I do always make sure that I'm using tabs so that the material doesn't come loose and ruin the job. Also, you'll notice there is still a little bit right here where I didn't go deep enough in that same spot, which suggests to me that I might have a little issue on my spoil board, maybe an uneven spot, but that's easily fixed. All right, so now let's take a look at our finished product. These lines are all clean. There's almost no fuzz. It's a little bit right there, but I can pick that off with my finger or, like I said, a hard bristled toothbrush. All right, now when you look down inside this lettering, there is a little bit of an uneven spot right there. Actually, that's coming off pretty well with my fingernail. So that can easily be cleaned up. Maybe you go back and do one more finishing pass on the inside, take out about another 1/100th of an inch. But even with that, that's very good, and I'm happy with that. All right, so let's summarize what we've learned. This color core specifically is a 3-layer HDPE, and it's great for making signs because of the fact that it's plastic. It can be used outside. You're not going to have to worry about it wearing out like wood. There you go. So if you want to get into sign making and a different kind of revenue stream, this could be great for you. It does come in a variety of different colors and combinations. I think I've got all of them right here. There might be a couple of more that I didn't receive, but I like the red and white. It's great for stop signs and grabbing your attention. I also like the yellow and black right there. That's really good for caution signs and that kind of thing. So that's going to be a fun one to try out. Now I used O-flute bits for this and the results turned out great. As you can see, I have very little fuzz that I'm going to have to clean off to the point that it's almost non-existent. So that's really great there. Now, what are the disadvantages with using this type of material? And I found 2 distinct disadvantages. One is that it's not cheap. The 1/4" material costs about $7.50 per square foot, and the 1/2" material costs about $15 per square foot. I don't know how much market there would be for creating projects for indoor use because of the pricing, but for people who want a quality sign that is going to last for a long time, that price can easily be offset. And number 2, cleanup, not that easy. Just like regular sawdust, it puts chips everywhere. And if you're like me, you take your sawdust out and you burn it in your fire pit, or you recycle it for some other use. But you can't really do that with HDPE because of the fact that it's plastic. So you're probably going to have to collect it in a different way and dispose of it in the trash. I'm not aware of any way to recycle this stuff, but who knows? But if you can get past those 2 disadvantages and you have a customer base for this type of material, this could be a very profitable new type of project that you can bring to your customers in your area. All right, so what do I think about this stuff? I actually really like it. It's very easy to use. Cutting this stuff out was much quieter than cutting out wood. And so that's a great advantage right there. This stuff is going to be much durable for outside signage. And if you want to be able to do things with multiple colors, you can. You just have to get a type of glue that would actually not try to actually glue the materials together, but something that would actually melt the material so that the 2 pieces of plastic actually bond together. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any right now, but that is something that I'll look up and we'll talk about in future videos. So thanks for sticking around to the end. And since you're still here, make sure to check out this video right here, which is some of my favorite CNC projects ever.